Hallo, mein wunderschöner kleiner Schmetterling. Wie geht es dir? I have something to show you. It's my new little thing. It's show and tell. And it reminds me of you because you are a beautiful, beautiful work of art. It's a Bierstein, but it's not just a Bierstein. It is the largest Bierstein I have ever owned. And I collect Biersteins, by the way. I have a lot. Look at this. I don't even know what this says. Man spreit von wie len trinken, dass die den dolte bra. They probably said that all completely wrong. But look at that. That reminds me of you. Look at that. I don't know what that is. Hopefully it's not offensive. Either way. Am I the a-hole for demanding my girlfriend to change her dress for a wedding? Is there some Nepal showing or something? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this happened during this weekend, me being in my early 30s and my girlfriend in her late 20s. I was invited to a wedding ceremony of a colleague and could bring someone with me. I asked my girlfriend that I've been dating for a year if she would like to join me, and she was really happy because she apparently loves weddings. Since we don't live together, I drove to pick her up so we'd have some time to spare before the ceremony. As she comes out, she looks really beautiful and has obviously put in time to fix her hair and makeup. She's also wearing an off-white dress that was rather ornate. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm on your side immediately with it being off-white. All right. As she got in, I told her that she looked stunning, but I asked if she could change to a different colored dress for the ceremony. I'm not one for etiquette by far, but one of the few things I've heard everywhere is that you should not wear a white dress to a wedding unless you're the bride. And given that she loves weddings and that I'm assuming she's been to a lot, she probably knows this. This is really weird. She became pretty upset and wanted to know what was wrong with her dress. I said that it would be inappropriate to wear a white or off-white dress unless you're the bride, and that it's like wedding law or something. This guy gets it. It is, pretty much, unless the bride says otherwise. Trying to be lighthearted about it, she rolled her eyes and said it was an outdated tradition about women and virginity, and that when her friends got married, everyone wore white, and that it's not a big thing anymore. That's fine if your friends said it was okay, and sure, it might originate from, which I don't know the origin of it necessarily, but I'm sure that that's probably on par. It sounds about right. But it's just if the bride's saying like, hey guys, wear white, this is fun. Everybody dresses white, party, you know, that's fine. But if the bride doesn't say that, you're just being a bitch, basically. Like, you're being a bitch. All right. I told her that I don't know what the dress code is for the ceremony, but since it's not saying all white clothes, I still thought she could change to another color, but white or almost white, because my colleague was getting married and we had no idea how she felt about it. My girlfriend became really upset and told me that I was trying to control what she was wearing and that it was abusive. There's actually people that get abused out there, verbally, physically, all that stuff, and this is like insulting to those people. He's protecting you, by the way, because everyone's gonna be like, pss, 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 you know? What a bitch. Which honestly made me really upset and hurt. I said something along the lines of, well, you shouldn't go to a wedding with an abuser then. Honestly, I'm on his side. That's... And then I told her to off out of my car. She began to cry and wanted to apologize and give me a hug, but I just told her to get out, which she did. Edit, to clarify, we never left the driveway by her home. I did not drop her off in the middle of nowhere or anything like that. But yeah, you know, like I always want to be the devil's advocate and see it from the girl's side, but she's kind of said her piece. Like the only reason why she's not doing it is because in her head, there's this origin where it's this and it shouldn't be that way, but that she's only thinking of herself and stuff that applies to her and not thinking of anyone else other than herself. And then also just calling her boyfriend an abuser when that is not the case, and he's just being very polite and just being like, it's like a wedding law or something. He's not being like, you fucking idiot. Like, he's not being combative, at least the way he's writing it, you know? And the fact that she's wanting to like apologize immediately, I think she knows that she was in the wrong to say that, but you know, what you said is what you said. You gotta live with what you said. Consequences for your actions, dude. I drove off and she called and texted me a bunch. I answered, I don't want to talk right now, and then turned my phone off and attended the ceremony. The bride was the only one that was wearing white, so I feel as if my gut feeling was the right one. When I got home, my phone had blown up a text from her and her best friend saying that I was being inconsiderate and controlling and should apologize for my behavior. I vented to a few friends, most of them agreeing with me, but some have said that it was an asshole thing to tell her that she could not wear her dress because it had nothing to do with me. Yeah, that's the point. It had to do with the bride, you know, the woman who, it's her day. It's the one day, hopefully in her whole lifetime, where she gets to wear white and be that center of attention, and your girlfriend was willing to take that away because of principle, her own principles. What? And, you know, I can sympathize, I guess, with, you know, when you think of going to a wedding, then you have a definite dress you're gonna wear, and you spent time thinking about the dress you're gonna wear, and it's annoying to get a new dress on, yada, yada, yada. But she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. She's an adult woman. She's in her late 20s. Shut up, you know? I feel as if I was in the right since it was my colleague's wedding, and it was better to be safe than sorry, but I'm also not sure if I was being an asshole about the situation. I don't know, like, looking at the whole situation, you know, maybe you could have been kinder in saying, like, fuck off, get out of my car, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, she did name call and call you a pretty crazy thing that wasn't true, so I don't want to say, oh, you're crazy for getting mad at that, because that's something to get mad at. It's like, what are you saying right now? Like, I'm sitting here talking to you, and we're not having like a blowout session, and we're not swearing at each other and doing this, and then you call me abusive, and it's like, I'm just trying to give an opinion. I don't know, so I don't necessarily disagree with that. You weren't driving, you didn't leave her in the middle of the road, you were just at her house. Maybe you could have said it in a kinder way, but other than that, I don't think you're the asshole. Honestly, I really don't. I'm curious what the comments say. Not the asshole. Never thought I'd comment that on a post with a title like yours. I agree. I was like, ooh. It's concerning that your girlfriend would call your etiquette corrections abusive. Has she been abused before? Valid question. OP says, not from what she has told me. She knows that I've had abusive family members and that I'm very careful to not act in a toxic way or do my best to always communicate how I feel before there's an issue. Then honestly, that's even worse to me. That she knows that you came from that background, so she knows it would hurt the most. We all have those things in the back of our heads when we're in combative situations with our significant other where we're like, ooh, that's good ammunition. That would hurt. And it takes a lot to not use that sometimes, and it's good if you don't. But it feels as though, I'm a therapist by the way, I'm not, but it feels as though she found that ammunition, used it, and then immediately regretted it. And you know, I feel like we've all been there where we've said something and we're like, oh, I wish I could take that back. That was out of line. You know, it's not fine to say that stuff, but you need to own up to that stuff. You need to be like, I was frustrated. I really just wanted to wear this dress. I thought I looked really good in this dress. You know, I see where you're coming from. I should not have said that to you. That was not kind. And then there's a way to wrap this up where it's not like, ooh, you need to break up, but it needs to come from her. It can't just come from you. She needs to know where this came from. Like, why did she get so combative with this? Another comment said, absolutely not the asshole, and your girlfriend sounds like an attention-seeking nightmare. Literally everyone knows you're not supposed to wear white to a wedding. Even if she magically had not heard this rule the second you mentioned it, a reasonable person would have changed dresses just to be safe. She clearly wanted to be the center of attention / create drama, and when you wouldn't allow it, she created drama another way. Yeah, some people just like that drama in their lives, or like combat or getting into arguments or being the center of attention, that kind of thing. But we have an update because I like to feed my little viewers with context. Okay, update. My girlfriend found out about the thread. Don't know if she knew my handle or just found it, and we talked over the phone. She apologized and I apologized, and it was a pretty good talk. She asked if she could come over, and I said no, and that it would be best for us to go our separate ways. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. She got upset and asked why I wouldn't even try to work it out. Yeah, sorry I keep going on tangents, but I feel like this has to have been the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, for him to end this over this, I mean, you can end it over anything really, but I feel like there was probably more of these situations that happened, so he's just like, I don't want to deal with this. I basically just said goodbye, and then she said my dick was small. Okay, so yeah, it's just her thing to say like, ooh, ammunition. She said that my dick was small, which actually made me laugh after what had been a pretty mature conversation, and then she hung up. Yeah, so she's like 18. I mean, she's not, but she's not matured enough. She needs to learn how to talk to people. And you know, maybe she comes from a household where everybody is just like, ooh, bomb here, bomb there. Like, you just hurt people. And some people come from that house and it's like, you gotta learn that you can't talk to people that way. Like, that's just not the way to go about it. He also said, I'm pretty sad about it. She really made me feel happy, but as many of you have commented, if this was our first disagreement and she called me abusive, how would future disagreements look? I was hurt, but if she did think I was being abusive, it would be the right thing to do. And if she did not think I was being abusive and said it anyways, I would not want to be with her. So anyways, I think things worked out for the best for us. both. Yeah, I think that's for the best, especially the way she ended that phone call. She has not reached maturity yet with how she goes about it. And I think she would probably benefit from some counseling and talking through why she reacts the way she does and everything. And it's probably something deep-seated and everything. So I want to have sympathy for her too, but I also most of my sympathy goes towards the guy. I think he did the right thing. And yeah, you got to find somebody that's going to appreciate you and who's going to be able to talk through those blow-ups, and not want to hurt you during those. I think during arguments, you want to work it out. You don't want to keep hurting each other. It's not healthy. So that's what Dr. Collins says. Let's see what the comment said. Well, you shouldn't go to a wedding with an abuser then. A truly solid peace outline. I kind of agree. And she knew abusive was a trigger for him. It was so manipulative and deliberate. I agree. It's that ammunition. It's going to hurt them so bad and you're going to regret it, but you say it anyway. And you can't do that, I mean, unless it's, he's actually he's a horrible human being or something. Yeah, crazy. But overall, everybody says he's not the asshole. What do you guys think? Let me know. I don't know why I got so passionate about this one for some reason. I don't really know. But maybe it's because I've done a lot of therapy lately. Not that I needed it. I didn't need it. We all need it. Let's be real. Anyway. Let's move on to the next. Am I the asshole for saying I won't go to my friend's wedding after she dropped me as her maid of honor because of my looks? I also have several weddings to go to this year. I had no weddings for the longest time to go to, and now I do. So I feel like, I don't know, there was a lot of wedding ones, but I chose them all. So this is kind of wedding themed. So let's read. Sophie and I, both 27, have been close friends since we were 4. We're not the speak every single day, Laurel Susanna type friends, but I genuinely consider her a sister and her parents like an aunt and uncle. Our families are close. My whole family is invited to her wedding, as is my boyfriend's family. My boyfriend is Sophie's brother's best friend. That's how close we all are. So I wasn't really surprised when she asked me to be her maid of honor, and I think I've been a good one. Well, 2 weeks ago, Sophie and the other bridesmaids and I went to try on bridesmaids' dresses. I thought we all had a good time and that it was a successful trip as we found dresses. Apparently, not really, because a couple of days later, Sophie asked to meet me. She asked that I step down from being maid of honor. She said seeing me in the bridesmaid dress made her realize she didn't want me stealing focus from her, that she wouldn't feel good standing up there knowing everyone was probably comparing us. So you're hot. I thought she was going to be like, you don't look good enough to be in my wedding party. But this is the opposite. You're the main character. Got it. Okay, got it. I was so hurt. I admit I cried right there in the coffee shop, partly because I never wanted her to think that anyone would be thinking anything other than that she was the most beautiful bride on her wedding day, and partly because I was just so excited to be up there with her, and she was kicking me out over something that I couldn't even control and wasn't really true. So I said, fine, it's her wedding. If she didn't want me up there, I wouldn't be. But I wasn't going to come to the wedding as a guest when clearly my presence was going to be a burden to her. I'm trying so hard to just see both sides. It's yes, you're the bride, you want to be the center of attention. You want to be the most beautiful girl there. And clearly she has insecurities and the OP is a smoke show, obviously. But I don't know. It's I want to be it's the bride's day and she can do what she wants, but this is your best friend and you're making her step down. I just don't see a world in which, if I had Megan Fox as my bridesmaid, I'd be go girl, do your thing, I don't know. This is hard. Let me know what you guys think. There's still a lot more to read, but let me know what you guys think. So then Sophie said that wasn't what she meant, and I asked her to explain. She said she desperately wanted me there, so she was going to put aside her feelings, but she just wanted pictures at the altar to be with her looking the best and to have that moment with everyone looking at her up there. She also wanted me to tell everyone I dropped out because I was too busy. I don't like that. That feels very icky. I said none of this felt fair, and I wasn't going to lie for her. I was a good friend and did nothing wrong, and she was being a brat, but that was her prerogative, and I didn't have to play along. I told my boyfriend about this, who was pretty horrified, and agreed that if I didn't want to go, I shouldn't. I agree with you now. I think, yeah, I don't like any of that. Although he still is because he's friends with the group. But my mom and stepdad think I would be the asshole if I didn't go. My mom said it's also been obvious that Sophie was insecure. I never noticed this, and that she can understand where she's coming from. Yeah, it's weird because I just can see it from both sides. I can't picture being the bride and being you can't be my bridesmaid, but then, everybody has their insecurities. I don't know. I really don't know. She said, I've had the spotlight our whole lives. Again, I don't think this is true. Sophie is far more outgoing and well-liked than I have ever been. And even though it's pretty sad, maybe she does deserve to be the princess on her wedding day, and I shouldn't hate her for it. She says, I'll regret missing the wedding over this. My stepdad says I should go because she's my oldest friend, and even if she is being unfair, sometimes you have to let people be irrational. I really don't know now. Sophie and I have so many mutual friends. There's not a lot of people I can ask about this without it getting back to her. So here I am. I feel like maybe I'm being a jerk having this blow up, but I don't see why I should even stay friends with someone who would exclude me from her wedding party over something superficial. And clearly she's been sitting on these feelings forever, not to mention I already paid for her whole bachelorette party and the bridesmaid's dress and contribute to the cost of her wedding jewelry, and now I just feel used. That's completely fair. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. My thing is like, why would she even ask you in the first place if she's been bottling this up and then make you pay for everything and be like, ooh, by the way, you're out of the wedding party, sorry. It feels very disingenuous and I don't like it. I want to have sympathy for the bride, and she wants to be the princess for a day. And you know, sometimes weddings make people irrational. Sometimes it brings up how people really are, but you know, you want to kind of want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But I feel like it's kind of true colors coming through, and I don't really like it. And what your parents are saying are like classic parents. It's just like, just suck it up. Just go to the wedding, you know, save the relationship for us because we're friends with them too. You're just making it awkward. I feel like it's more about them a little bit. Lie. But I see where they're coming from. I feel like you just acted very human. The way you're like, well, I just won't come. Like, I don't feel wanted. Why would I come? Like, why would you make me pay for all this stuff, ask me to be in your bridal party, and then kick me out, you know, last minute? That's not fair. Yeah, that's tough. I need to read the comments. Also, there's an update coming. Not the asshole. Her decision shows she's not actually your friend. Friends don't actually care if you're prettier than them. I hype my friends up, dude. I got some friends, actually all of them, just bombshells. And I'm like, yes. Go! It does feel weird, but you know, people can be human. They can be envious or jealous or whatever, but if they're a friend, they're not going to belittle you and do that mean girl thing that a lot of girls do, where it's like they talk shit behind your back, they put you down in front of other people. You know, that's not a friend. Commenter keeps saying, and honestly, I think your BF sucks for still going. Yeah, that was a whole other thing. I was like going to get into that, but that's like a whole other thing. He should stand by you. His friend's fiance disrespected you. He should see they are a unit and realize you two are a unit. If one of them hurts you, it should hurt him. Anyone who tells you to swallow disrespect cares more about their peace than your well-being. That's kind of how I felt about the parents, where they're being like, just go, you know, because they're friends with their parents and they're friends with they just want to save face, kind of. OP said to that, well, he said, should I also not go? And I was like, no, let's not become those people. It's not a boycott. If I didn't want him to go, he wouldn't. But if he didn't, then Sophie's brother would know why, and then it would become a whole big thing. Plus, then his sister, who is also my friend, would feel like she shouldn't go, and I didn't want to start the domino effect, especially since I don't even know if I intend to tell anyone why I'm not going. You're being considerate, and so is your boyfriend. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And this is OP's response to the downvoted comment regarding the competition between herself and Sophie. OP said, the spotlight she's referring to is specifically male attention, and I guess looks-based attention generally from people we meet. And yes, I'm aware of that, but that's not what I consider to be spotlight, or not the be-all end-all anyway. Sure, I get approached more by men, but Sophie was always the one with more friends, better grades, the person teachers actually liked, she was in clubs and well-known. I considered all that to even out or even swing in her favor, honestly. I think that's a classic case of, you know, the grass is greener. You know, you look at her and you're like, wow, that's so cool. She gets better grades. She has so many friends. Everyone loves her. Like, the teachers all love her. That's so cool. And then she's looking at you being like, whoa, that she gets like so many guys that come up to her and think she's so beautiful, you know, and it's just that you just don't know. You're oblivious to your own, you know, gifts, basically, your own wonderful, beautiful gifts. And that's okay, because you were clearly looking at her like she's a beautiful human being that people care about a lot. She goes on, but yeah, it's true. I never realized that the male or / looks attention thing bothered her that much. But to be fair, mothers do pick up on things about your friendships when you're younger, then sometimes you don't. Sophie never let on that this one thing bugged her to this extent. Okay, so there's plenty of more comments, most of which are saying that OP is not the asshole, but here's the update. So, I don't know if anyone wanted an update, but the situation has somewhat concluded now, and I thought I would provide some closure. Thank you. We love that. Firstly, some digging was done by my boyfriend and myself, and we think we found the roots of the issue. Okay, we love an FBI investigator. Let's go. A couple of months ago, my boyfriend, Sophie's brother, the groom, and Sophie were out for drinks. I remember this night and had an event for another friend and I couldn't go. Over drinks, the groom apparently asked when my boyfriend was going to propose to me, and my boyfriend said probably sometime next year. Groom then made a comment to the effect of, "Why would you wait that long? She's perfect. You looked for the root. You found the root." Absolutely, because the groom said that. Sophie's future husband said that. Now, according to both my boyfriend and Sophie's brother, Sophie was really mad about this because groom waited several years to propose to her. Fuck. She's been bringing it up to him regularly since. Obviously, we all assume he meant perfect for you. Sure, I'm sure he did, but like, words are important. Craig. I don't know why I think his name is Craig. The second thing is that my mother did a little gentle probing, and it turns out that at the bridesmaid's fitting, Sophie's mom told Sophie that she should have chosen a dress that wasn't going to make me look better than her. Oh my God. So these people are just spoon feeding Sophie all of her insecurities on a silver platter with a silver spoon. Oh, I kind of feel bad for Sophie, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think she said it like that to Sophie. This is just how it was relayed to my mom. Yeah, it was probably worse, honestly, and draw attention. According to Sophie's mom, her aunt and cousin said the same thing. Oh no. And I guess one of them ganged up on her about it. She also has been on Sophie about a pre-wedding diet. Dude, I feel bad for Sophie now. Holy shit. So it seems, I mean, she still shouldn't have disinvited you, but the roots are coming up. So it seems like these two things got blown out of proportion and ended up in Sophie's request that I'm not to be the maid of honor. I ended up deciding not to speak to Sophie about any of this. She's planning her wedding. She should enjoy this time. I don't want to make this about me or our friendship. And if I'm being totally honest, I was kind of done with the friendship after the initial conversation. I wanted to know the reasons for my own peace of mind, but the truth is nothing was going to change the fact that she took her feelings out on me. That's what I'm saying. You got the shit out of the stick of this whole thing, and that's not how friends should be. It's one thing to react to how other people are saying things, but she's got to realize that it has nothing to do with you and how you're acting. It's just you existing. So that's still not fair. I do agree with you. Who only ever wanted to support her. None of these things came from me or had anything to do with me, but she chose to take a wrecking ball to a 20-year friendship rather than confront the people who upset her. I can't wrap my head around that, and I'm not going to try going forward. That being said, I decided to go to the wedding as my boyfriend's plus one, essentially, just for closure to this entire mess. Now that I've calmed down, I really don't feel any particular way about going. I'll eat, I'll drink, I'll clap, and Sophie will just be the wife of my boyfriend's friend from now on, I guess. I haven't told anyone why I'm not the maid of honor. I just said in the group chat that it was for personal reasons, and everyone can speculate. Once the wedding is over, I'll tell our mutual friends the truth, and they can do with that info what they will. Sophie has reached out since to talk, but I sent her a message telling her that I'll be at the wedding as a guest and that I hope she enjoys this time in her life and wishing her the best, and haven't been replying to anything else. It surprised me how quickly I've reached the numbness of just not caring anymore, but that's where I'm at. I genuinely wish her the best, but I just have zero interest in being part of her life anymore. I just can't see her or anything about our friendship the same way anymore. So that's that. I don't really know what else to include. If anyone has anything else to ask that I've missed, feel free to ask. Thank you to everyone who commented. Wow. I think that's fine. You know, is it a bummer that a 20-year friendship is down the toilet? Yeah. But it wasn't on you, it wasn't your fault. And would this be an issue in the future? Maybe not. Maybe it's just her day, so she's, you know, feeling all these feelings. She just wants to be the center of attention. She doesn't want to even think about you, which sucks. And this type of thing might never come up in your friendship ever again, but this is some friendship ending shit. I mean, to be treated like that and on the most important day where you're supposed to celebrate it, or you can celebrate it with friends and family and all that kind of stuff, and she chose to, but she chose to just push you down because other people were making her feel bad. That sucks. That sucks. So I don't blame you. I don't think you're the asshole, because you can end a relationship for whatever reason, and you can end a friendship for whatever reason you want to. And I think this is completely valid for sure. 1.5 months later, holy shit, we're getting spoiled today. So a lot of people wanted an update post-wedding and didn't really think I was going to do one because it was just a wedding, right? Ha! Wrong-ish. So, key things. Everyone in our family ended up figuring out the general reason for me not being in the wedding. I didn't tell them. Sophie's brother got it from her fiance, and I guess kind of hinted to their parents. I didn't entertain any conversations about it and was traveling anyway, so I don't know what happened there, but I know third hand that there were conversations happening. Sophie stopped reaching out shortly after that happened. Okay, well, that shit kind of settled itself. You didn't need to say it to anyone. My boyfriend and I got engaged while traveling. Congratulations. Very sudden. I have a placeholder ring because it was so unplanned. We are still in the process of sorting out the real one. LOL. We only told our parents and decided it would stay this way until after the wedding. I did not go all out on my outfit for the wedding. Sorry to disappoint some of you. Haha. All in all, the wedding was nice, smooth. I was sat at a table with my boyfriend and his family and two of my stepbrothers, and obviously didn't get ready with the bridesmaids. So mercifully managed to avoid any awkward questions or mentions of the situation. Like I said, I've barely been home and a wedding isn't time to catch up with people, so it was a very normal wedding experience. Small talk, food, etc. I got from the conversations I did have that people assumed I'd dropped out of being maid of honor because I was busy this time of year, which I am, and I didn't correct anyone. Good for you. You're the bigger person. Everything was fine until speeches, during which Sophie's now husband, who I'll call Nick for the purpose of the story, congratulated me and my boyfriend on our engagement. We are still racking our brains to think how the fuck he found out. We only told our parents. I didn't wear a ring to the wedding. All our siblings / friends were shocked. What is this guy doing, dude? He's just digging a hole. Sophie's new husband? Holy shit. We were absolutely mortified. I think all the guests were as well. Sophie was clearly very upset. I won't be so self-absorbed to say it ruined the evening, but I was definitely squirming for the rest of the time we were there. We didn't make our exit immediately because that would have caused more drama, but we left earlier than intended. Our parents don't even know Nick, so they wouldn't have spilled the beans. We didn't confront him because he was pretty tipsy by the time speeches came around, and afterwards it just didn't seem appropriate. And now they're on their honeymoon. My boyfriend is planning to bring up with Nick when they get back, but he's pretty angry that Nick did that and doesn't think they'll be hanging out going forward. I sent Sophie a DM expressing how sorry I was about what happened, which she left on read, which is fair. I honestly don't know what the fuck is going on. Dude, it had to have been your fiance. Like, how else? Our friends still don't know the full story, by the way. I'm not really free to even meet up with people between now and the new year, and I think I just want to give this all some breathing room and enjoy the holidays. So I won't be in a hurry to tell them. Obviously, they're all pleased about the engagement and shocked about what happened. None of them have spoken to Sophie since she's away right now, and I guess avoiding everyone. So that's that. Really not the update I thought I'd be giving, or one I wanted. I'm pretty shell-shocked right now, to be honest. This has all got so much uglier than it ever needed to be, but I don't know if these two things are even related. Maybe they're not. I'm still a bit creeped out that Nick managed to find out something literally only 5 people knew, and we don't know how. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Well, someone told him. That's how people find out stuff. So you need to do a little whodunit meeting, all right? You need to have an intervention. Find that shit out for us. Come back to Reddit, okay? But there's no more updates. I looked. I thought there was maybe one more, but we don't have any more. Comments say, seems like Sophie knows that her husband feels like he is settling for her based on his 2 slip-ups and the fact that he waited to propose until Sophie basically forced his hand. That'll end well, I'm sure of it. Sophie's family members who shamed her can go to hell. I agree. Yeah, I don't know. The husband, and he might just be like just an idiot. He's just not thinking about what he's saying. But to announce it at the wedding and not tell anybody, like, why would you do that? Her husband sounds like a dipshit. And Sophie's, she's kind of a dipshit too. I think you're fine. I think you handled this really well, by the way. Good job. My head is spinning from this. It's crazy. Let me know what you guys think down below. But I think all in all, you handled it very well. I respect all your decisions, and yeah, it's a giant bummer, dude. Yeah, you guys got any wedding horror stories or anything? Let me know down below. I always read the comments, and until then, I'll see you in a beautiful face. All right?